The sun was already sinking when the gunshot echoed across the prairie. It wasn't loud, but sharp enough to make the cowboy's horse jerk its head and snort. Cole Whitaker felt the sound vibrate in his ribs, a warning, a ripple in the stillness he'd grown used to over the years. Out here, where the wind told you everything, even the quiet had its own voice. And this quiet suddenly felt wrong. Cole nudged his horse toward the distant shape of his barn. As he approached, he noticed something odd. The door, which he always latched tight against coyotes and the wind, was slightly open. Just an inch, but enough to make his hand slip instinctively toward the revolver on his hip. He dismounted silently, boots crunching over dry grass. Another sound drifted out from the barn, soft, shaky breathing. Not an animal, a person. Cole pushed the door open with the barrel of his gun. Inside, in the fading orange light, two figures huddled behind a stack of hay bales. Her face etched with exhaustion, stared back at him with eyes both fierce and hollow. Beside her, a younger woman barely in her 20s clutched a blanket around her thin shoulders, trembling like she might collapse at any second. They looked half-starved, dust-covered, and terrified. The older woman lifted a shaking hand, not in threat, but in surrender. "Please," she whispered. "We'll leave if you want. Just not tonight." Cole froze. These weren't thieves. They weren't bandits. They were survivors running from something. Something that had pushed them into a stranger's barn with nothing but desperation to guide them. But there was something else, too. A bruising on the younger woman's arm, a torn moccasin. The unmistakable way the older woman guarded her with her own body. Cole lowered his gun slowly. "You hurt?" he asked. The older woman hesitated, then nodded once. Not for herself, for the girl. Cole exhaled, long and heavy. He hadn't planned for company. He hadn't asked for responsibility. But in their eyes, he saw something he recognized to well fear loss, and the quiet kind of loneliness that doesn't go away on its own. "All right," he said at last. "You can stay, but we need to get you warm and fed." The younger woman's lips parted in relief. The older woman's shoulders sagged as though a weight she'd carried for years finally loosened a little. Cole stepped back, giving them room. Whatever had brought them here, whatever danger or sorrow they carried, had entered his world now, and nothing would be the same after this night. Cole hadn't realized how long it had been since someone else's footsteps echoed inside his home. He led the two women toward the cabin with steady but careful steps, glancing back every few seconds to make sure they didn't collapse along the way. The younger woman leaned heavily on the older one, her breaths shallow, almost ragged. Whatever they'd been through, it had taken them right to the edge. Inside the cabin, the warmth from the small fire Cole kept burning in the stove seemed to startle them, as though real heat was something they hadn't felt in days, maybe longer. "Sit," Cole said, gently guiding them toward the wooden bench by the hearth. The older woman didn't argue. The younger nearly fell into place. Cole grabbed a pot of stew from the stove bean, smoked venison, and potatoes from his last harvest. It wasn't much, but it was hot and real. The moment he set bowls in front of them, the younger woman's hands trembled so hard the spoon clattered against the metal rim. "No rush," Cole said softly. "Take your time. There's more if you need it." The older woman gave him a long, searching look. It wasn't mistrust, more like disbelief, as if acts of kindness had become myths somewhere along her journey. "You don't know us," she said finally. "No," Cole agreed. "But you look like you needed help. That's enough." The older woman lowered her eyes. The younger one ate in small, shaking bites, like someone who had forgotten the rhythm of hunger. Cole moved around the cabin quietly, giving them space. He pulled out blankets, filled a kettle for water, and placed his rifle back on the wall above the door. The sound of it clicking into place made both women flinch. "Sorry," he murmured, "just putting it away." The older woman's hand rested reassuringly on the younger woman's back. The gesture was protective, almost fierce. It told Cole one thing: wherever they came from, they hadn't been safe. When the younger woman finally finished eating, her eyelids fluttered, heavy with exhaustion. Cole grabbed another blanket and approached slowly. "You can rest here tonight," he said. "Both of you. I'll keep the fire going." The older woman met his eyes, measuring him, weighing something important before she nodded once. Cole turned toward the door. "I'll be outside if you need anything." He stepped out onto the porch, letting the cold evening air hit his face. Out here, the prairie stretched endlessly, silent except for the occasional call of nightbirds. Usually, that emptiness felt like home. Tonight, it felt different, like the world had shifted, like the quiet wasn't so empty anymore. And as Cole sat on the edge of the porch, keeping watch, he understood one thing with certainty. Whatever those women were running from, it wasn't finished with them yet. Cole didn't sleep that night. Every hour or so, he checked on the cabin through the window. At one point, he saw the older woman sitting awake, staring at the fire, wrapped in the blanket he'd given her. For a moment, her face lined with age, worry, and something deeper softened in the flickering light. She wasn't just exhausted. She was grieving something he couldn't name. By dawn, the cold had seeped through Cole's jacket. He stood, stretched, and stepped inside the cabin. The younger woman stirred at the sound, halfway, but before she could sit up, the older woman's hand was already on her shoulder in a protective reflex. "It's just me," Cole said quietly. The tension in their bodies eased, though only slightly. Cole boiled water for tea. The older woman watched him, cautious but observant. When he set cups in front of them, she finally spoke again. "My name is Nara," she said. Her voice held a strength that didn't match the weakness in her body. "And this is Lila, my daughter." Cole nodded. "I'm Cole Whitaker." Lila attempted a small smile, but it flickered and faded, as though the muscles of her face didn't remember how to hold warmth. Cole hesitated before asking, "Do you want to tell me what happened?" Nara exchanged a look with Lila, a heavy one, a shared one, and for a moment, Cole regretted asking. Not because he didn't want to know, but because whatever truth they carried wasn't something easily spoken. Finally, Nara said, "We came from far south. Our village. It no longer exists." Cole waited. He didn't interrupt. "There were men," she continued. "Riders, they took what they wanted, burned what they didn't. We fled with nothing." Lila's hands tightened in her blanket. Her eyes dropped. Cole's jaw clenched, but he kept his voice level. "You're safe here." Nara studied him again, that long, deep, weighing stare she gave him every time she had to decide whether to trust him. "No one is safe forever," she said softly. "But for now, it is enough." Cole nodded slowly. He didn't argue. Out here on the frontier, safety was a fragile thing like thin ice that could crack under one wrong step. As Lila drifted back to sleep, Nara's shoulders slumped in exhaustion. But before she rested, she spoke once more, her voice almost a whisper. "You have a lonely soul, Cole Whitaker. I can see it in your eyes." Cole stiffened. He didn't know what to say to that. "But lonely souls," Nara continued, "are often the kindest." Then she closed her eyes. Cole sat back, staring at the fire, the weight of her words settling somewhere deep inside him. He didn't know what this day, or the next, would bring. But one thing was clear. Those two women had walked into his barn by chance, and into his life by fate. The morning passed quietly, but Cole felt something stirring beneath the stillness and unease he couldn't shake. He'd lived alone long enough to trust the language of silence. And the silence today wasn't peaceful. It was alert, listening. After checking the horses and tending to chores, he returned to the cabin to find Nara outside, standing by the water pump. She was steadying herself against the post, trying to lift the handle despite the tremor in her hands. "You don't need to do that," Cole called out, walking toward her. Nara's grip tightened. "I am not a burden. I didn't say you were. But you're exhausted. Let me—" She hesitated, then stepped aside. Cole filled the tin bucket with fresh water and brought it inside. Lila was awake, sitting at the edge of the bed. Her hair fell over one shoulder, tangled and wild from sleep. But her eyes looked clearer than they had last night. "Morning," Cole said gently. She nodded, almost shyly. "Morning." Nara entered behind him, lowering herself into the chair by the fire. Her movements were slow, calculated, like someone who wasn't sure her body would obey. "You two ate enough?" Cole asked. "Yes," Nara said. "Your kindness. We do not take it lightly." "It's nothing," Cole replied. "No," Nara corrected him softly. "It is something—" Before Cole could respond, Leela's gaze drifted toward the window. The light hit her face in a way that revealed faint bruising he hadn't seen before. Hidden beneath dirt and shadows, Cole felt his jaw tighten again. Did the riders do that? Lila lowered her eyes without answering. Nara spoke for her. "They took from us more than food or shelter. They wanted strength for their labor. And youth? For other things." Her voice did not waver. But Cole felt the storm beneath her steadiness. Lila's shoulders shook. She didn't cry, but she looked like someone who had cried so much there was nothing left. Cole nodded slowly, gripping the back of a chair until his knuckles went white. "Nobody's touching you here. Either of you." Nara studied him with a quiet, almost mournful expression. "You speak like a man who has lost something before." Cole looked away. "Everyone out here has lost something." The wind outside shifted direction, slamming the loose shutters against the wall. Cole's instincts rose like a tide. Something in that wind carried danger, the kind that traveled on horseback. He stepped onto the porch, scanning the horizon. The prairie stretched endlessly, flat and golden under the sun. No movement. No dust clouds. No riders. Still, his gut twisted. Nara came to the doorway behind him. "You feel it too." "I do." "It means they are not far," she said. "Riders like them do not stop until they take everything." Cole rested his hand on the butt of his revolver. "Well," he said quietly, "they won't find anything here to take." The midday heat rolled across the prairie like a slow wave. Cole led Leela outside for fresh air, careful to keep her close to the cabin. The girl's steps were unsteady at first, but the sun warmed her face, and a small, almost invisible moment of peace settled over her. "This land is quiet," she whispered. "It is," Cole said. "Most days, anyway." Lila traced her fingers along the weathered porch railing, gazing out toward the distant hills. "My mother says quiet places remember things. Like the old stories, the ones the earth keeps." "She sounds wise." "She is," Lila replied. Then, after a pause, "But she is sick. She hides it, but I see it." Cole's breath caught. He had noticed Nara's labored movements, the heaviness in her breathing. But hearing it from Leela made it real. "I'll help however I can," he said. Leela looked at him then. Look full of uncertainty and trust, and fear all tangled together. Why are you helping us? Truly. Cole didn't answer immediately. He watched a hawk circle high above, gliding effortlessly on the warm currents. Because I know what it's like, he said finally. To run out of places to go. He didn't elaborate, and Lila didn't press him. Some truths didn't need explaining. A sudden gust of wind blew through the grass, bending the slender stalks in one direction south. Cole stiffened. That wasn't normal. The wind almost never shifted that sharply, that fast. Nara stepped outside just then, leaning against the doorframe. Riders approach from the south. I can feel it. Cole didn't doubt her. He'd heard stories of Apache women who felt danger like animals sensed storms. Whether it was instinct, memory, or something deeper, Nara's certainty carried weight. How long? Cole asked. Nara closed her eyes, letting the wind brush her face. A few hours, maybe less. Lila's breath hitched. Cole acted immediately. He walked to the barn, grabbed his saddle, checked his rifles, and brought out the spare horse he kept for emergencies. Lila watched him with wide eyes. You're leaving? She asked. No, Cole said. I'm preparing. For what? For whatever's coming? He moved with purpose, every motion sharp and efficient. Lila's hands trembled as she helped him bring water buckets closer to the cabin. When she stumbled, Cole steadied her gently. Listen, he said softly, you and your mother stay inside. If trouble comes, I'll handle it. She looked like she wanted to argue, but instead, she whispered, be careful. Nara approached then, her voice low. Cole Whitaker. He turned. If they come here, they will not ask questions, she said. They will kill you first. A lesser man might have faltered. Cole didn't. Then I'll make sure I'm faster, he replied. Nara nodded slowly, as though accepting something heavy she couldn't change. The wind blew again, carrying the faintest sound far too distant to be fully heard, but unmistakable. Hoofbeat. Cole's veins ran cold. They're coming. The hoofbeats grew clearer as the sun slid lower across the sky, casting long shadows over the prairie. Cole stood on the porch, shotgun in hand, scanning the horizon. He didn't breathe. He didn't blink. The world had narrowed to the faint tremor in the earth, and the whisper of danger in the wind. Behind him, the cabin door cracked open. Cole, Lila's voice was barely a sound. Stay inside, he said without turning. But inside, Lila. The door shut again, soft but trembling. Cole stepped off the porch and walked out into the open field. The wind pressed against his face, carrying dust and tension with it. A man who lived alone learned how to listen, not just to sound, but to the ground, to the air, to the way the world held its breath before violence. He felt it now. Minutes passed. Then the riders appeared. 4 of them, cresting the southern ridge. Their horses were lean and fast, built for long pursuits. The men rode with the posture of predators, easy, confident, certain of the fear they carried with them like a second skin. Cole set his feet shoulder width apart. He didn't raise his shotgun yet. He just watched. When the riders noticed him, they slowed, reining their horses into a lazy half circle. The lead rider, a tall man with a wide-brimmed hat and a scar down, his cheeks pat into the dirt. This, your land, he called out. Cole didn't answer the question. You looking for someone? That depends, the man said. We got word 2 Apache women fled north. Might have passed through here. Cole's face didn't change, but something inside him sharpened. Haven't seen anyone fitting that description, he said. The scarred rider smirked. Funny, we saw tracks heading this way. You? Accusing me of lying? I ain't accusing, the man drawled. Just noticing. Cole finally lifted the shotgun, just enough so they could see the glint of metal. Notice something else, he said quietly. You're on my land, and I don't take kindly to threats. The wind shifted again this time, carrying a faint sound from the cabin. A floorboard creaked. A breath hitched. The riders heard it. The scarred man's eyes narrowed. Seems like you got company, friend. Cold didn't move. Just me and the wind. The man tilted his head, studying him with a predator's patience. Then he nudged his horse forward a few steps. We're gonna have a look around, he said. No, Cole replied. The man let out a low laugh. You gonna stop us? If I have to. The riders exchanged glances, half amusement, half calculation. The scarred man leaned forward in his saddle, eyes cold as river stone. You're either very brave, he said, or very stupid. Cole cocked the shotgun with a slow, deliberate motion. Maybe both. For a moment, no one moved. The prairie stood silent, suspended in a breath. Then the scarred rider's smile faded. This ain't finished, he said. He pulled the reins sharply, signaling the others to turn back. Cole returned to the cabin slowly, shotgun resting in the crook of his arm. Lila flung the door open before he reached it, her face pale. Are they gone? She whispered. No, Cole said. But they're leaving. For now. Nara appeared behind her daughter, leaning heavily against the table. They will come back, she said. Men like them don't leave prey behind. Cole nodded grimly. I know. He stepped inside and locked the door. Then he moved to the window, pulling the curtain just enough to see the ridge. The riders were still therefore dark silhouettes against the fading sky, waiting. Lila approached him timidly. Why didn't they attack? Because they're not sure yet, Cole replied. They want to see if I'm bluffing, if I'm alone, if you two are worth the trouble. And if they decide we are, Lila asked. Cole met her eyes. Then they'll ride down at first light. Lila's breath trembled. Can we run? No, Nara said firmly from behind them. We are too weak. We would not make a mile. Cole didn't argue. He already knew that. He started moving through the cabin, securing windows, checking ammo, stacking wood beside the stove to keep the fire from dying overnight. His motions were sharp, controlled habits from another life. One he thought he'd left behind. Lila watched him with wide, fearful eyes. You've done this before. Yeah, Cole said. Too many times. Night fell fully. The prairie turned to a vast ocean of darkness, broken only by the faint glow of the riders' campfire on the ridge. They weren't hiding. They wanted him to see them, to think about them, to feel the pressure. Cole pulled a chair to the doorway and sat with his shotgun across his lap. You should sleep, Lila whispered. I will, he said. After sunrise. Nara approached him quietly. Her voice was low, but steady. These men, they have taken lives before. Many. You owe us nothing, Cole Whitaker. If we bring death to your doorstep, you can still choose to turn us away. Cole didn't look at her. Not happening. Why? Nara pressed. Cole stared into the night. His answer came slow, weighted with memory. Because no one helped my family when they needed it, he said. And I'm not gonna be that kind of man. Nara closed her eyes, a soft sadness touching her expression. You have a good soul, she murmured. Maybe, Cole said. But good souls die just as easy. Hours passed. The cabin grew warm from the fire, but outside, the cold deepened. Coyotes howled somewhere in the distance. Lila eventually fell asleep, curled near her mother. Nara rested with one hand protectively over her daughters. Cole didn't sleep. He kept watch. And when the riders' campfire finally went out, plunging the ridge into darkness, he knew what it meant. They were coming at dawn. The sky was still dark when Cole stepped outside. Dawn hadn't broken yet, but the horizon carried that faint silver glow that meant it was coming. He stood motionless, shotgun in hand, boots planted firmly in the frost-stiffened grass. The cold bit at his skin, but he didn't feel it. His focus was absolute. Behind him, inside the cabin, Lila and Nara slept restlessly. He could hear the soft shifts of their breathing through the thin wood. They didn't know he'd left the cabin, and he didn't plan on waking them, not yet. He glanced toward the southern ridge. Nothing. But that meant little. Riders who hunted people for sport didn't always announce their presence. They liked silence. They liked surprise. They liked fear. Cole breathed out slowly, his breath turning to mist. He checked his revolver, then the shotgun, then the rifle slung over his back. Every movement was a whisper, controlled, calculated. Another gust of wind swept across the plains, this time carrying a scent he knew too well, the faint musk of horses, sweat, and gunpowder. They were close. Cole crouched beside the water trough, watching the ridge with predator stillness. The first sliver of sun began to crest over the horizon, lighting the earth in pale gold. That's when he saw them. For riders, moving slow, deliberate, making no effort to hide themselves anymore. The scarred man rode in front, posture straight, his silhouette outlined by the rising sun like some omen carved from fire. Cole rose to his feet. The riders accelerated, hooves thundering across the prairie. Dust kicked up behind them, swirling into the morning air. Cole walked toward them, not running, not hiding, simply walking as though meeting destiny halfway. His shadow stretched long behind him. The riders slowed to a halt 20 feet away. "Well now," the scarred man called out. "Looks like you didn't sleep much, friend." "Didn't need to," Cole replied. The scarred man leaned forward in his saddle. "We thought on your situation. Thought maybe you'd reconsider telling us the truth." "I told you the truth," Cole said. "Ain't no one here but me." The scarred rider chuckled. "Is that so? 'Cause last night we saw firelight through your window. Two shapes moving." Cole's jaw tightened. "And since we don't like lies," the man continued, "we're gonna look for ourselves. Now step aside." "No." The man's smile vanished. "Friend, if you make this choice, someone's dying today." Cole's grip tightened around the shotgun. "Then I guess we better get it over with." For a moment, the riders simply stared at him in disbelief. A lone man facing 4 armed killers. No one in their right mind would do that. Cole wasn't in the mood to be reasonable. The scarred man raised his hand, and everything froze. The air grew thin. The space between them shrank. The prairie seemed to hold its breath. Cole whispered, "Come on then." Snow fell heavier as night settled over the homestead, turning the world into a pale, silent void. Cole finished reinforcing the door, driving the last wooden beam into place. His breath fogged in the freezing air with every swing. Inside, the fire snapped weakly, barely pushing back the cold creeping through the cracks. Lila watched him work, worry flickering in her eyes like the flames behind her. "Will they come here?" she whispered. "They might," Cole answered honestly. He didn't believe in giving false hopes, not tonight. "But we're ready." He wasn't sure he believed that either. Nara sat by the fire, wrapped in thick blankets. Though she said nothing, her gaze followed Cole with a quiet knowing. She had survived winters darker than this one, and her silence carried the weight of someone who understood what was coming. Cole checked his rifle again. Clean barrel, loaded chamber. But his injured arm throbbed with every movement. He knew he wasn't at his best, winter or not. Danger didn't care. Outside, the wind howled like a living thing. Snow spiraled violently across the plains, erasing all tracks, theirs and the riders. It was a blessing and a curse. They couldn't be found easily, but they also couldn't see danger creeping closer. Lila moved to Cole's side, her hand brushing his coat sleeve. "You shouldn't be standing. You're still hurt." He glanced at her, noticing the fear in her voice, the tremor she tried to hide. "Doesn't matter," he said softly. "I'm not letting anything happen to you." Her breath caught, but before she could speak, Nara cleared her throat. "Fear makes the night longer," she murmured, "but trust can shorten it." Cole met her gaze. There was something unspoken in her eyes, and sorrow. Hours passed slowly. Cole took watch beside the door, listening for anything beyond the roar of the storm. The women rested near the fire, wrapped in blankets, whispering to each other in their native tongue. He couldn't understand the words, but their voices, fragile, touched something deep in him. At one point, Leela approached him again, sitting beside him near the wall. "I keep thinking about what you said," she murmured. "About us being safe." He didn't respond immediately. He simply looked at her really looked hand, saw the weight of everything she carried. Fear, hope, grief, and that quiet strength she didn't even realize she had. "We will be," he said finally. "I promise." Lila leaned her head gently against his shoulder. For a moment, the storm outside felt distant. "Thank you," she whispered. Cole didn't move, not wanting to break the fragile warmth between them. And somewhere across the frozen valley, hidden by the storm, the threat drew closer. The night was far from over. But for a brief moment, in the dim cabin lit by a struggling winter fire, the two of them found a small island of peace, one they weren't yet ready to lose. Cole burst through the cabin door, chest heaving, blood pounding in his ears. Lila knelt on the floor beside her mother, hands shaking as she tried to keep Nara upright. The older woman leaned heavily against Leela, the blanket slipping from her shoulders. Cole saw the dark stain spreading across the fabric, deep crimson, unmistakable. A bullet had found her. "Nara," Cole whispered, dropping to his knees beside them. Her eyes fluttered open. Pain clouded her gaze, but beneath it was a strange, peaceful acceptance. As if she'd known this moment was coming long before any of them. "I am all right," she breathed. "No," Lila cried, voice cracking. "You're not." "Mother, please stay with me." Nara brushed trembling fingers across Leela's cheek. "Little one, you are safe." Cole grabbed a cloth and pressed it to the wound. But Nara winced and gently pushed his hand away. "Cole," she said softly, "do not waste your strength." "I can still help you," he insisted. "Just stay awake." Nara shook her head. "My time has been borrowed for many years. Today, I return it." Lila sobbed, burying her face against her mother's shoulder. Cole swallowed hard, fighting the burn in his eyes. He'd seen death before, too many times, but this felt different. He had known Nara only a handful of days, but her presence carried the weight of someone who'd lived 100 lifetimes. Nara turned her gaze to Cole. "There is something I must ask of you." He leaned closer. "Anything. You have a good heart, a strong spirit. My daughter." She paused, breath hitching with pain. "Lila will be alone when I am gone." Cole opened his mouth, but the words refused to come. "I know what loneliness does to a soul," Nara continued. You know it too. Promise me. Promise you will not let her live in that emptiness. I won't, Cole said immediately, voice rough. I'll protect her. Both of you. Nara smiled faintly. Not protection. Not pity. She does not need a savior. She reached toward Leela, who took her hand desperately. She needs a home, a future. Someone who will love her, because he chooses to. Cole's breath caught. Nara's next words were barely audible. Promise me you will not leave her behind. Lila looked up, eyes red and terrified. Mother, stop please, don't talk like that. Nara cupped her daughter's face. Lila, my brave girl, you must live. You must love. The world is still wide. Then she turned back to Cole. Well, she whispered. Cole felt something inside him shift, something long sealed. Cracked open by loss, by courage, by the weight of this woman's trust. He reached out, placing his hand gently over Nara. I promise, he said quietly. I won't leave her. Nara exhaled a long, trembling breath that carried gratitude, relief, and the remnants of a lifetime's burden. She rested her forehead against Lee. You have my blessing, she murmured. Both of you. The wind outside stilled. The fire flickered softly. The storm eased by morning, leaving the world wrapped in white silence. Frost clung to the cabin windows, but inside, the fire burned with a warmer, steadier glow. Lila sat near the hearth, staring at the blankets where her mother had lain just hours before. Cole approached quietly, setting a hand on her shoulder. She's at peace, he said softly. Lila nodded, but her eyes were red. Her expression distant, caught between grief and something like gratitude. Outside, the valley shone under pale winter sunlight, the kind of light that made everything look new, even after loss. Cole stepped out first, letting the cold bite his lungs before turning back to her. Come, he murmured. They walked together toward the cottonwood tree where Nara now rested beneath a mound of snow. The wind brushed softly around them, as if carrying her spirit. Lila knelt in the snow, fingertips trembling as she pressed a carved wooden pendant into the white covering the grave. A single tear fell, freezing almost instantly. Cole waited behind her, giving her space. When she finally rose, she turned to him, not with despair, but with fragile resolve. She wanted me to live, Leela whispered. Not just survive, live. You will, Cole said. You're not alone anymore. The words surprised even him, but they felt true. For the first time in years, he didn't feel like a man drifting through the world without purpose. Standing there in the frozen valley, he felt something anchor him, something stronger than solitude. They returned to the cabin, where warm firelight spilled across the floorboards. Lila paused at the doorway, hesitating. Cole, what happens now? He looked at her, at the uncertainty in her voice, at the hope fighting its way through her grief. The cabin no longer felt like a hiding place. It felt like the beginning of something slow, fragile, but real. We build, he answered, one day at a time. A soft smile touched her lips. She stepped closer, slipping her hand into his. The gesture was simple, almost shy, but it carried the weight of everything they had survived. Outside, snow sparkled beneath the rising sun. The valley stretched endlessly before them, silent and untouched. For years, Cole had believed winter meant emptiness, loneliness, a world too cold for second chances. Now, standing beside Lila, he understood. Winter could also mean renewal, a clean slate, a place to begin again. And under that endless snowy sky surrounded by loss, Bound by promise, they took their first step into a life they would build together. Not out of pity, but out of something deeper, gentler, and fiercely hopeful. A new home, a new future, a new start in the frozen frontier.